Hi, I'm Steph, and I have a really cool opportunity today to try out a new kayak that I don't own, and I still don't own it, but the company Isle makes a stand-up paddleboard that can also be a kayak, a solo or a tandem kayak, and it's called the Switch. And they reached out to me asking if I wanted to try out a sample, so I get to try this out for 2 weeks to kind of get a feel for it and share some of my thoughts on my channel. So I'm actually really excited. This is my first sample kayak to try out. And what's kind of cool is Isle, I'm aware of the company because they are part of the parent company of Or Kayak, which is the kayak that I use most of the time, my favorite kayak. So I'm excited to try this out because I've actually really been wanting to try a stand-up paddleboard / kayak situation because I've gotten into yoga recently and I kind of wanted to try to do yoga on a stand-up paddleboard. So I definitely want to try that. It's a little windy today, so I might not do that today, but I'm excited to kind of try it out and kind of get my thoughts on it. So we're first going to start out by using it as a tandem kayak with my mom, and then I'm going to try it as a solo kayak, and then maybe today we will try it as a stand-up paddleboard, or maybe we'll try that another time. All right, let's try this out. We are out on the water for the first time on the Isle Switch. We're actually doing tandem for the first time, and it's definitely a little bit more difficult to turn than a regular kayak because obviously it's an inflatable stand-up paddleboard, but it's very sturdy feeling.
And it's comfortable.
It's really comfortable. The seats are super comfortable. You definitely have to kind of dial in where the seats need to be and things like that, but it's pretty comfortable. I think you could definitely fit like a kid, a dog, 2 people on here very easily.
Steph is doing all the paddling now, and you know what? I gotta say, it's certainly fun to sit on the back end and not have to paddle. Super fun, super stable. I think the best thing I like about this kayak or the SUP, is this seat is so comfortable. We're almost back to the dock. The wind has died down a little bit, which is nice. It is pretty windy out here, but it's so nice. It's perfect for kayaking.
All right, so now I'm going to make the switch, hence the name, and I'm going to try to do solo paddling as a kayak, and then I might try to stand up on it because this is a stand-up paddleboard, which we call SUP, if we keep using those words interchangeably. So I'm going to take the second seat off, and then I'm going to move my seat back so I have a better center of gravity here. All right, so I think that looks good, but I'll do some adjustments once I'm on. Oh yeah, that feels good. All right, so I just tried it as a solo kayak and I thought it was great, really easy to maneuver. I will say it definitely has a different feel than a typical kayak, but that's just the nature of it being, a flat stand-up paddleboard. But it was fun to paddle, really easy to get on and off because it's so stable and it's a wide boat. So now my mom's actually going to try it to see what she thinks about it being a single solo kayak.
This is really nice as a single kayak. I like it a lot. Easy to maneuver. You can get some speed on it. It's really good. The only thing it doesn't really do is pivot, but you can get it to turn around, so it's fine. And the stability is really nice. I like the adjustable foot thing.
All right, now I'm gonna try stand-up paddleboard and maybe some yoga. All right, so I'm currently standing on the stand-up paddleboard, and I have to say, it feels so stable. Like, this is a stable boat. They know what they're making, how to make these things, definitely for sure. This just works a whole different set of muscles. It just has a whole different feeling from kayaking. So it's so hard to even compare these two, like a stand-up paddleboard and kayaking, because they're just like a completely different feel. And it's a little windy today, but I feel really, really secure. I'm really surprised. I will say I did yoga on this and that was super fun. I now want to look up the best kind of yoga to do on a stand-up paddleboard, and I probably need to look up how to paddle a stand-up paddleboard the proper way, because I really have never used a stand-up paddleboard before. This switch can be a stand-up paddleboard, a solo or tandem kayak, and so far I'm really loving it as a stand-up paddleboard, but I do love that it has the options because you can have one boat that has multiple options. I do think if I was just to do more stand-up paddleboard, I'd probably invest in a better paddle. Usually the paddles that come with a boat are not the greatest. They're they're good entry level, but I definitely would buy like my own stand-up paddleboard paddle, because if you saw my paddle video, you know I love a good paddle. And I have a bunch of paddles. So now I'm going to be in the market for a stand-up paddleboard paddle. We just left McClay Gardens. Lake Hall is actually where we were kayaking today, and this was our very first time ever using the aisle switch. I will say I was very impressed with the quality. It was really well made, and it came with everything you need. It only came with one paddle, so if you are tandem paddling, you would need another paddle, but like I said, I would get better paddles anyways, so that's not a huge deal. I think the bag was really well designed because everything fits easily in the bag. I didn't try it without the fin. I only used it with the fin, so I would say probably the fin is necessary because it really helped it maneuver better, and with it being a larger kayak, I think that fin really helps. But I was really impressed. If you were looking for a kayak or a stand-up paddleboard, like something with a lot of options, I think you can't beat this. It's under $1,000. Like, that is such a good price for what you're getting and the quality you're getting. It's really easy to fold up too. Sometimes that can be a huge issue with inflatables. It's just hard to fold them back and get them back in the bag. This was super easy. We actually do have a stand-up paddleboard / kayak that we bought a year ago, and we don't use it that often. It's not a bad boat, but it has these foot pegs on it that are built in, and those are really cumbersome. They're not really well placed, and it makes it hard to stand up on it. So I've tried standing up on that stand-up paddleboard before, and it was not great. We do want to thank Isle for sending us this sample to try out, because I actually just mentioned to my mom, just like before they sent us the sample, that I was like, I'd love to try out different kayaks. I don't want to own a bunch of kayaks, but I want to try them out. So it was such cool timing and like perfect. And I had literally been wanting to try this particular stand-up paddleboard because I saw a review on it, and I was like, that seems like really interesting. So it just all worked out well. So excited that we got to try it out, and hopefully we'll be able to try it out maybe 1 or 2 more times before we have to send it back. So if so, I'll be sharing that in upcoming videos. All right, thanks for joining, and have a great day.